Hi, everybody. I'm Alex Albin, managing editor for TVGuide.com, joined as always by Sadie Guinness, also of TVGuide.com. Huge coincidence, not related. But we're going to talk about the second episode of American Horror Story Roanoke. Real quick, what'd you think?
I thought it was a fine episode. I kind of wanted more. I wanted to understand why we're in this fake documentary. I wanted, like, more ridiculous craziness. It was just okay for me.
Yeah, all right. Well, we got to get into all the big spoilers, so let's put up that spoiler alert right there. Thank you very much, our fine producers. So if you haven't watched the episode, please turn away, don't watch, or watch and get spoiled either way. But let's get into one of the big crazy twists from the episode, murder nurses. There's a bunch of murder nurses. Murder nurses. Tell everybody what happened there, Sadie.
So we saw these nurses briefly last episode. They sort of were creeping around then, didn't know what they were doing, and now we know they're two sisters who like to murder old people so that the deceased first letter of their first names spell out their favorite word, murder.
Yeah, whose favorite word is murder? Who's like, I love that word, that's a great word.
It's, like, I can't with this. Like, the Murder House, like, I get it. It's, like, mirroring Murder House, which also had a bunch of dead nurses running around. I don't believe them as people. Like, they weren't scary enough to me. They were comical.
Well, we're still in the recreation part, right? There's a lot of shooting happening behind us, by the way. But we're still in the recreation part, so it's a little difficult to tell what actually is heightened on purpose versus actually happening.
And, like, what's supposed to be cheesy versus what's supposed to be scary. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel when I'm watching this.
And that's exactly what Ryan Murphy wants out of you guys. But the big question coming out of this is there's an R left over. They spelled bird, which I found out is a small town in West India last night, which is a very exciting fact. But there's still an R that they need to kill. I feel like that's a dangling plot point. Who is that R? Who are they going to kill?
I automatically started thinking of, like, old Horror Story characters, like who could come back and die. And the only one with an R I could think of was Ramona Royale. She's already, like, a vampire. I don't think she's coming back. Like, an Angela Bassett vampire hanging out with an Angela Bassett reenactment actor is too much for me. So I think it's either going to be someone we haven't met yet, or there's going to be, like, a reveal that, like, Lee's real name is, like, Rhonda Lee, or something like that.
This is getting super nerdy, but what I love is if they do the sequence for The Dark Knight Rises where somebody turns to Angela Bassett and is like, you should really use your middle name, Robin.
Yes.
There you go. That would be perfect. Real quick, before we move on, let's talk about Elias Cunningham, Dennis O'Hare's character. What's going on with his surprisingly well-produced Crazy Man video that's happening behind us right now?
I don't even know. I don't know if we're supposed to believe him and think this story is real. There's something fishy about it. I don't trust any information that is fed to people so conveniently, and then they're just like, oh, this must be the whole story. I think there's a twist with him coming. I'm just not quite sure what it is.
Yeah, he's Piggy Man. We'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about one of the other big things in the episode. We met Lee's little daughter, Flora, who's very cute.
Kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy, like kids always are in horror movies. And she befriends a terrible ghost named Priscilla. What do you think? What is Priscilla? What's going on with Priscilla and Flora, and where are we left?
Based on the fact that Priscilla loves bonnets, I'm going to go with she's a child of one of the Roanoke colonists. She was the little girl sort of haunting them in the yard.
Yeah, here we're getting a shot of her right now. She's right out there. We think that's Priscilla, right?
Yeah,
it's not explicitly said, but...
I'm pretty sure that's her. And, you know, it's nice. I think Priscilla seems pretty good. Like, she's willing to trade all of their lives for a doll. Like, that's a really nice ghost. If Lee hadn't messed it up, they'd all be fine.
Yeah. Also, we got to talk about, we just showed this off. Somebody, Priscilla presumably, put Flora's jacket 300 feet in the air on a tree. How do you even do that, and how did they notice that?
Ghosts have no corporeal forms. They can fly.
Oh,
duh.
That's right. Okay, I'm really sorry, Sadie. I apologize. Well, we'll have to stay tuned to find out more about that, but I can't not talk about this. There were so many pigs in this episode. Like, it was nonstop, wall-to-wall, complete pigs. From, we kicked it off, there was the whole sacrifice. We found out kind of what the Piggy Man is, right?
Yeah, well, at least this Piggy Man. Because we see it in last episode, Dennis O'Hare's character saw Piggy Man in the woods that he had been tracking, whereas now we see Piggy Man is like a a ritual sacrifice.
Right, and then later on, I mean, it's kind of related. We saw this altar being set up that was being burned out in the yard, also made of entrails and pigs.
I believe it was that man's entrails.
Oh, yeah? You think it was the same guy?
That's how I interpreted
Okay.
it. They spit roasted that dude, and then they strung up his entrails and posted his pig head on top of the form.
But then there's a pig in the woods. There's pigtails on the walls as well, and there's secret pigtails on the tree. There's pigtails all over the place. Where are they getting all these pigs? Is there a pig farm? That is so creepy, that thing.
I don't know where they're getting the pigs, but pigs are often a symbol of fertility. And so we know that Shelby had a miscarriage right before coming here. So I think Sarah Paulson is gonna get knocked up again. Whether it's with a demon pig baby or a human, I don't know, but I definitely think we should expect a pregnancy.
Yeah, well, at the very least, as we talked about last episode, Piggy Man is the breakout character of the series. If you don't like anything else, vote Piggy Man, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Piggy Man 2016.